Okay, this is my review of the Selens slider. Now, we all know, or we should by now, that there is no perfect slider. But there are certain categories of sliders, and this is one of them. If you're looking for a motorized slider, that's a whole nother can of worms. There's a bunch of them out there. If you're looking for heavy camera slider, I would highly recommend what's called the Manske slider. It's M-A-N-S-K-E slider. You can look them up online. I know Gary Manske personally. He was a DP for he worked for Terry Claremont as his AC for many years before breaking out on his own, and he has built a very high grade one for serious tabletop work. Here's the issues with sliders. Either you want one that's really long, but then you need to pack it away. You want one that's strong, but it's light. There's all sorts of issues with sliders. So I'm only talking about the smaller grade DSLR type stuff. Now, this one I bought from Amazon.com for $300 delivered prime. I thought it was a good deal at the time. I now realize it was a ridiculously good deal. So, what makes it so great? Okay, first off, the build quality is exceptional. Everything is really, really well made. I mean, these little things that tighten are not the highest grade, but darn near close. Man, for $300, it's not sort of like, well, it's great for $300. What I mean is, it's fantastic. If it was like, if this was $1,000, I think I might still think it had good value. Just to give you an idea. One of the things that I really, in fact, the most important thing with this particular slider is this right here. These wheels, they're pretty heavy. They're like made out of lead or something. This one wheel, the lower wheel, can't really see it, but one wheel comes with it. Okay, and then so this is the wheel that comes with it, and it's pretty heavy. You pick it up. It's hard to get a sense for that weight, but it's very solid. And this one is even bigger or heavier. So that comes with it. I bought an extra one because what I learned after buying a slider is you need what's called moment of inertia, high MOI. Because when you put a camera on here, you're going to find that the slightest little jiggle, and it's not in here usually. It's in the connection to here. It's in, if you're up on, like, say, you put this on a, you can put this on a ball head like I have here. Screw this on, and suddenly your camera's up here. Maybe you're on a tripod. Everything gets a little bit of shake, and it makes a huge difference. So, if you don't have these extra weights on even one, you need one. I think was really important compared to a standard slider. And then having two is just a bonus. I think I paid like an extra $25 or $30, and I got this, and it fits. I had to do a little bit of research because to make it work. I will say this Selens is extremely similar in its build quality and a lot of design features. There's another one out there. The ends are different, and if I had to do it again, I mean, they didn't have the great price on the other version, but I might, because you can add a motorized unit to the other one. This one is pretty much you can't. And when I originally thought, I want a motorized unit so I can do time lapse and things like that, the reality is this is really has done a ton of work when you consider, it's like I had dreams of doing 4-foot moves and all these different things, but I'll tell you, this is a good size. This roughly I would say 30 inches or so, maybe 28 end to end, if you go from here to here, because that's it. But when you get this nice, you got to set your shots up when you do this kind of work, slider work. You gotta put something in the foreground. It helps a ton. So if you're looking this way and there's something here, you're going to get that parallax effect. You can't just shoot everything on a slider. That's retarded. But I would say that the shots that you do think about, you can get some really nice stuff. Having the chain, having the moment of inertia really does tremendous work. A lot of little holes here. These are all like 1/4-20s, and then you have the 3/8, whatnot. Same thing here. This is a big one, so you can, like I could just drop this right onto that. This is pretty heavy duty Gitsos ball head. I use it sometimes. Sometimes I like to get up. One of the nice features, though, the second best feature other than this moment of inertia issue, like that it creates that beautiful smooth flow, is that here, I'm just going to lock it here, and when you turn it over to the opposite side, you can take, see, this is just a basic a Bogan Manfrotto mount, and what I'll do is I'll stick this right on my tripod. So now I have the ability to do a multiple axis move. So if this were on my tripod head, I could tip it this way. So let's say the camera was just mounted here and it was looking down at this point. I'll just tip the camera up, the tripod head, and suddenly be looking up. So I have that, super easy. And it's still because it's mounted right on the tripod and the camera's right here, you can do a lot of, it's very sturdy, and it maintains this nice flow without getting shaky. Another portion, though, is like I can also, if you pan the tripod as you're moving, so you can move it like this or that on the tripod head, and so as I'll kind of fake it here for you, but if you could be doing this, and the tripod head is turning. So you have these, a lot of compound moves. It's a light slider, fairly light. I mean, it's beefy and real, but I've dealt with some other serious sliders that are much bigger, much heavier. So I can put this on my tripod, and then I can walk. I can pick that up. I can go through doorways with this. So it's very flexible in that regard. That's I would say the second most important element is his size. But what's really nice is if you want, let me show you how to do this, and just on one side. If you want, you could, just going to take a little jigger in here, hold on. So what you do is you loosen this up, okay, and it has that. You could pop out this gives I can't remember what I'm thinking about. Take this out, and then flip it back over. You can loosen these up here, and you can take this off. Okay, so now what's really nice is that this will fit in a lot of when it's full size like this. I have a Pelican, I think it's a 1650, and if I take this all apart, you could fit it all in. It's really nice. You got to package it. You can use some all that other stuff you get from Amazon. Just get some bubble wrap up your parts. But I just recently took it to Phoenix, and that worked out super duper. It's really nice. I took the head off my tripod. I put that thing in there too. That all worked. And actually, with the legs and this whole thing and a bunch of other parts, I'm still only at 48 pounds. And that a Pelican 1650 is not light just without anything in it. So another feature, though, is of course that if you see, it's probably, I don't know if you can see over here, these have like, if you can buy extra carbon fiber rails and screw them on, and so now you can go from like a 28 inch to a much longer, and there's no end. And when you get these from them, They fit in the carrying case that it comes with, so you can have some storage, and then you can also just keep extending them as long as they need to go. So really, in a sense, you do have the longer one, but you have to add pieces to it, and so that's for a different shoot. Anyhow, this is. But I will say this: if you go ahead and take it apart, and then you think, oh, I can put it back, because I took both sides off when I went to Phoenix, and then I didn't quite realize that there is a preferred side way to do this. So it's like the axis turning points are a little bit one-sided. So when you go, you need to thread it the right way when you put it back together. It's not not the end of the world if you do it wrong the first time, but it just won't be as smooth. My shots, I was like, damn, there's something wrong with this, and sure enough, I just threaded it wrong. But that is that's just the way life happens. You could do everything great and something will go south. Anyhow, so what I like to do is just give it it's hard to, there we go. You need to give it a tug. Get it move. Let me move it back here. Come on. Here we go. Okay. And you can see how it kind of gets, there we go. And then just give it a little stretch if you can. Or if you can't make it to the exact point, if I can get it in there. There we go. Just tighten that down, and then what you can do to get it really snug is flip it back over, release just the tension on one side, doesn't matter, it could be either side, and then just give it a yank, put some tension on it, and that will make the band nice and sticky or stiff, and then you're back in business. So yeah, really a nice piece of equipment. I would highly recommend. If you can get it for $300, gosh, you got a deal. If you can get it for $500, I still think it's really valuable. Keep in mind, as I said earlier, no slider is perfect. This is very good for a DSLR. I might consider an FS7, fairly light, not tricked out by any means. That'd be about your maximum weight before you start to get funky. It does have, if you can see them here, it does have little feet that you can, attach, and these feet move, so they fold up. They have nice rosetted, so they can, they don't. And they go. Also, you can adjust the height. If you can get it like that. So that's kind of nice. Well built. And they fold up. They have rubber, right on the edge here, so it doesn't slip. A lot of good features. Just well thought out. And I think Selens as a company is pretty good. It's hard to tell. These Chinese companies, you think it's all they just. This is the Nordic N1. I don't know if you knew that. If I mentioned that, I don't think I did. And then another nice feature is they have holes here. These are ¼ hole, and it also has the 3/8, so that you can, if you wanted to, you could mount this onto something sort of up off the ground. If you wanted to go either, if you skipped the tripod and you didn't want to use the feet, you could rig something so it was higher, closer. I'm going to just get in here real close so you can see it, and you can see here, it's just a really nice, well-made device. I'm going to take this off too. This is the central. This comes normally when you want to pack it, you could just yank it off, and it has a little key. So this when I was futzing with it, I lost the little set screw here, and as a result, I had to make that work. that doesn't come like that. So that's a little, but anyhow, that is the Nordic N1, and I think if you have an opportunity to buy it and use it, you're going to be real happy. If you're in this sort of DSLR light camera work, going to add a lot of production value. Okay, that's it.